what is an inheritance? Okay, so the question we should have, what is inheritance? As the name suggests, to inherit the properties, to inherit the properties. Okay, it could be the multiple property or single property, doesn't mean. So I'm writing properties. Suppose I'm taking a simple example, just like a class X. This class X may have the many things. May have many things means a different kind of the attributes and functions we can say. So it can have the x1. Okay, it can have the x2, it can have the x3. So multiple attributes it can have. Okay, and it can also have the many things like the functions. So I'm just putting the xyz function. I'm just taking simple example, not I'm not writing the everything by the programming way, just for explaining proper. So by the help of df function, by the help of df keyword we can say. So now we are defining everything. So this is part which is known as the attributes, as we have discussed many times. This is a part which is known as the functions or member functions. But now question comes in our mind once again, what is the inheritance? So this is the structure we have defined the inheritance. But now question we should have in our mind, what is the mean of the inheritance? Inheritance means actually it is a concept of reusability or reusability. What is mean by the reusability? Reuse the code. I'm writing here reuse the code and save time to write code once again. And the next objective, to decrease the KLOC. This KLOC means kilo line of the code. Kilo line of the code. So why you want to write the code again if we have the facility reusability? So line of the code we are increasing, it means we are increasing the space complexity, and undoubtedly if we are increasing the space complexity, so we are increasing the time complexity. So very practically, does the program belong to the good standard format? No. That's why we have an inheritance. So inheritance means to inherit the properties of one class to another class. Let me take a simple example as I have already depicted over here. So we have a X class. We can inherit the some properties of X class to Y class. So what are the properties? The attributes and the functions. So from these concepts, we have an inheritance. So this is the example which is known as a single inheritance. Single inheritance. Because as a single label we want to inheritance only, so this is known as a single label inheritance or single inheritance. Unlike this one, we have the multiple type of the many types of the inheritance. So I'm writing here, so please see. So we have a different flavor of the inheritance. What are those? Yes, we have this example we have seen few seconds ago. Single inheritance. We can have the multiple base class. Now this is a big question, what is a base class? In any inheritance, the this class is known as the base class. Okay, and this class is known as the derived class. This base class is also known as a parent class, and this derived class is known as the child class. So when we have the multiple basis class, I'm repeating once again, when we have the multiple base class of a child class, so this is known as a multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance when we have the multiple base classes for a single child class. The reversely we can say when we have a single base class, but when we have a multiple drive class, then undoubtedly I'm pretty sure you know this is example which is known as the Can anyone tell me right now? This is what? Hierarchical inheritance. And next one we have, when we have a x1 is our base class, then we have a y2 your drive class, and we can also extend its derivation classes concept, that is Z3. So this is known as the multi-level inheritance. This is the first example, and this is the second example, and this is the, so these are the four different type of the inheritance we have. From the combination of these different type of the inheritance, we can mix or we can introduce a new kind of the inheritance, and that is known as the hybrid inheritance. This hybrid inheritance definitely we can also have, but this hybrid inheritance means composition of two different types of inheritance. That is a concept. So if you heard this term, what is mean by the hybrid inheritance? Hybrid inheritance means the composition of the two different types of inheritance. We can also make a program. It is also applicable. So in examination, I can ask any kind of the question followed by the any type of the inheritance. So you need to understand, if I'm giving the everything on the question paper, then you need to understand what kind of inheritance it is asking, and you can also use. From this point, next we have the next slide, that is the inheritance in Python. So inheritance is nothing which is a powerful features in object oriented programming, and it refers to defining a new class with a little or more modification to an existing classes. So here what is mean by the existing classes? It means base class. Existing class is also known as the base class in the our Python, or maybe any kind of object oriented programming, and this is also known as the parent class. So the new class, this new class is what? This new class is known as the derived class. Okay, so this new class is known as the derived class. It is also already written. Okay, or child class. Please keep in mind it is also already written, and from which it is to be inherited, and that class is known as the base class or parent class. It is also mentioned over here by me. So this is the introductory part of the inheritance. We have seen what is mean by the inheritance and why it is required. So far our concept is not ended. We need to think about the some benefits parts over the inheritance. What are the benefits of the inheritance? Why we need to learn? As I already spoken, reusability. So in the real world programming, as of course we are following the object oriented programming, so definitely our relationship would be clear to make a real world problem, to solve the real world problem. So it represents the real world relationship as well. So of course we are trying to solve the problem which is followed by the real world problem. It provides a reusability of the code. Already I have already spoken 2 or 3 times today, a reusability of the code, and we know we don't approach by which we can add some more feature by the programming. Definitely we will see in the practical part as well. It is transitive in nature, which means if a class B, see, if class B inherit from class A, then all the subclass of the B would be automatically inherited from the A. So it means if I'm inheriting C, or I can take the D. So just like this one. So all the features I'm inheriting from the B class to D or B class to C. It C and D are the classes or subclasses of B, will automatically fetch the some features from the A which is asking by the B class. And that is reason we have a transitive in natures. We can also access all these features. And that is the reason we have the benefit. Ultimate and more important features, we have the benefit of the inheritance is reusability of the code. To reduce the KLOC, that is the kilo line of the code. So that's why we have over here. Now this picture or this idea is clear to all right now. Theory portion is clear. Let us move to the practical part. Yes, tell me, should we move?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So one more slide I want to tell. Let me explain the syntax. So how we can write the syntax of the Python inheritance in the Python programming? It's a very simple example. I can take an example, then you can easily understand. I'm creating a class ABC and colon, and I'm just putting the its attribute and features over here, and here I'm just creating another class XYZ, and inside the parenthesis I'm putting the base class name. So what is my base class? ABC, and then putting the colon as per the rules, and I'm putting the its attribute and features under part as well. So here ABC would be the my base class and XYZ would be the my drive class. So this class I can write over here. So drive class inherit features from the base class. So let me clear what is the features means. Features is generalized. We are talking about the attributes. It means data member. Okay, that is the form. Functions. If you remember the my word, this function also known as a methods in object-oriented programming, and attributes means data member. That part we have already discussed in the our class while discussing with the class concept. From this point, I have a programming, so I would like to jump to the my program part, so the picture will be more clear to you. So let me move to the practical part, and I'm going to share my screen, Google Colab, then you can easily see. Now, let me share the my Google Colab screen, then more picture or more idea you will also have. Okay, so is it visible to all the screen right now? Tell me once again, it is visible. Jupyter, not Jupyter. This is a Google Colab screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So let us understand some example of inheritance. Inheritance. So I would like to take the very simple concept. So first I'm taking a class. Okay, any class you want to make, you can create as according you need. So I'm taking very simple example. I'm writing everything in front of you. So first I'm creating a class. This is the polygon. Okay, and here I need to define its a feature. So how I can define? Let me take the def init. So init is what, that is my constructor. So when the object will be created, it will invoke automatically. So def double underscore, and I need init, I'm taking y double underscore, that's my private function. And here what I can pass the self, and then number of ns is the number of the slide. A polygon has the number of the slide, so I'm writing here in shortened way ns, and putting the semicolon. And now let me see self dot n. So n is the variable that is keeping the information, the local variable of this init constructor, or we can say it is a constructor which will keep the value of the ns. So I can write over here in simple way, that is a ns. Okay. So if I'm putting the number of the slide 1 2 3 4, so multiple, so depend on that part, I can run the my loop. So I can execute this code self dot, I need to see how many sides we have. So I'm taking the side equal to, so multiple sides we can, so I'm just taking the sides, and I can run this concept by a loop, and that is known as the, if you remember the concept in the Python programming, that is known as the list comprehensive. List comprehensive is a feature in the programming in the Python. So by the help of the list comprehensive approach, you can put the your loop in simple way. So that part is known as the list comprehensive. By that approach, I can write over here zero, sorry, zero, not o, zero, for I in range. In range, a range is a method in the Python programming. You must keep in mind that is very important method. and I'm ns. So this is the way by which we are defining this concept is known as the list comprehensive. Looping, actually this is known as the looping in looping understanding by the list comprehensive approach. That is the Python programming concept. So we have now, this is the defining of this function is done. So let me define the new functions df. Now, what is the next concept will be input slides. So how many sites we have, not input slides, input sites. So I'm taking the input slide, okay, and I'm putting the value self, that is a parameter I'm passing over here, and I'm putting this one, and with the help of the self keyword, number of the slide, number of the side sites we have taken, okay. We can't change the variable name, so that is side. We have already taken that variable, we can use as it is. So can take side, and we can also put the, even you want to take everything by the loop, then you can also take it. So it's a choice how you can write the program, it's a choice. But I'm mostly prefer to take the list comprehensive approach to save the my time, okay, and to save the education time as well. So if you're writing the multiple instruction by using the loop, so your code will be the little bit uh, code will be having the number of the statement will be high. So definitely the space complexity will be little bit high compared to the this kind of approach. So that is the beauty of the list comprehensive approach. So by the float approach, you can take float, and by the help of the input, if you remember the some concept in the Python programming, by the help of the input method, you can take the input number of enter side, enter side, and we can also add over here the uh, plus str is a function which is supported by to change your values string input into the. Can anyone tell me right now what is the role of the, what is the importance of the this one str method? Anyone who have any idea? Can anyone tell me right now what is mean by the str method?
Sir, str is string, na?
Yes, what is mean by the str? Why str I'm putting over here? Can anyone, can you tell me right now? These are the small things we need to keep in mind.
सर क्योंकि इनपुट वी आर सर इनपुट स्ट्रिंग दे रहा है इसलिए.
Input method by default takes the value in the string format, so we need to transform into it through the numbers. That's the reason only. So because whatever input we are getting, see here you can observe over here from the input method, we are taking anything in the Python programming will be by default to the form of the string. So by this method, what we are doing, we are just trying to merge the string which is written over here, the enter side, and then last at the last you can see at the column. So we are trying to merge it, we're trying to add these two values. So that's why whatever input we are getting, that is the reason we need to keep in mind. Input method will take any kind of input, string, float, integer, whatever, because there is no specific data type we have in Python programming. We no need to worry about that part. But whatever input we are getting, we need to merge such value over here. Then, so what you are doing with the string you want to add. So the information we are taking into the form of the numbers or integer, that should be converted into the string as well. So that's why we have the str function. Str means to convert the input values into the integer to the string only. That's the reason. So with the help of the for loop, you can also execute your do this Yeah, self n means number of the sites we have taken. So this is a single line we have seen over here. We can also write the same line by taking the inputs again and again and run the and execute the code. So it's our choice how we can write. It's our choice. So this is the way by which we can write. Now let me define the new method or a new function over here, and that is display. So I'm writing here display, and here I can write the self and putting the colon and this one. So by the help of the loop, you can also use the list compressive approach, but we will not need to any take any input over here. So we can also run a loop, and then by which we can print. So for I in number of the input we have taken, that is the by the help of the range method, and in the self dot n, and in this under the loop we can execute and display the total number of side. So I'm writing here the print and side I plus 1, I plus 1. This should be here, I plus 1, the side I plus 1. Let me take the space and comma, and then is and space and comma self side I, self side. I have taken the variable sides, and in this values we can also put why I'm taking the this list kind of the I'm why I'm taking the bracket symbol, because the input I'm getting into the form of the list manner by using the list compressive approach. So that's why I'm putting over here, and then this point. So this is our polygon class I have created over here, and let me execute this code and let me see any error we have or not. Okay, in between. So what we have seen, this is a class that has data attributes to store the number of the side n we have and magnitude of the each side as a list called the sides. So this is the our code is executed without any error. So no typing error over here. So the input sides our method that takes the magnitude of each side, and display method display the these side length. A triangle is a polygon with the three sides. So we can create a class called triangle. We can also create the multiple classes. So I'm just creating only one more class, that is a base class. So here what we have created, if you remember my words by the inheritance. So here what we have done, defining base class. Okay, so here I have defined the base class, and now in the next law, in the next this part, I'm defining the child class, or I can say the drive class. Is the point. Please keep in mind. So a triangle definitely is a polygon, but the mathematically concept I can say with the three side. A rectangle is a polygon with the four side. Undoubtedly, we can say square also we can say put into that category. So we can create a class called triangle, which inherits some information from the polygon class, that is a base class, and this makes all the attributes of the polygon class available to the triangle class. So let me take the another class right now. So I'm creating another class that is known as the triangle. So I'm just giving its name try only. Okay, for triangle it's better to write class triangle, and here I'm putting the polygon. So what I'm doing, I'm just defining tribe class triangle, and I need to inherit all the properties from the polygon. Okay, so this is it. So this is the reason which is known as the uh, I can write over here inherit 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 all the features from polygon class. Now, from this point, I need to define. Okay, here undoubtedly I have to define a yes alignment should be proper. Now I'm defined here, and now I can paste this comment over here. Fine init and self constructor I'm defining. And now I'm defining the constructor. So how this constructor will be invoked? So it's very concept, very simple. It will inherit all the features. So polygon is my class with the help of the dot operator. If you remember the my words, I can easily access all the features of the my class polygon. So here you can see the display, input side, and some information also coming over here. So display and input side is also defined function of our base class, that is polygon. So we can also include. So polygon dot I want to access the constructor dot init initialize and self comma 3. Why I'm putting the 3? Why 3? 3 means triangle. 3 means triangle. Is the reason only. Now next I need to define another function to find the area of the triangle. So it's very simple part I can write over here. Area of a triangle. Here I'm just defining this thing like this way. And how many sides we in the triangle? A, B, C. So I can take A, comma B, comma C, and from the self, by the help of the self, I can read its sides. Okay, it's very simple. We can easily read the sides and calculate the semi parameter. So how we can calculate semi parameter? It's very simple formula as equal to A plus B plus C divided by 2. Okay, but for our expression writing way, we need to write everything properly. So I'm writing here everything properly. So this is a calculation of the semi parameter we can find, and let me count the area. So AR is my variable. Okay, AR equal to what is the formula? S into, if you remember the formula, S into S minus A. If I'm writing the wrong formula, so please let me write now. S minus B and S minus C. We can also divide this one by the 2, or we can also divide the 2. So we can also divide the 2, or we can also multiply it by the 0.5. It's your choice only. So and this is the close, this is the close. Yeah, okay, correct. No issue right now. For the typing, there is no issue. And let me print the area. So print, I'm writing here area, area equal to, okay, and then what I can write over here, I can write the variable that is AR. Okay, let me execute this code. uh, or should I move ahead? Okay, so in between you can tell me right now. First, I must create an object. So which class object I must create? Can you tell me right now? Base class object or drive class object? This is very tricky question, so I'm asking. So I'm expecting the answer. Yes, tell me. Is a base class object I have to create or a drive class object I have to create? Yes. Can anyone tell me right now? See, it's a very common answer. We are inheriting the property from base to drive class. So we have to create. So we have to create an object of a drive class. Okay, please keep in mind. No need to create the base class object. You can also create, but no need to access. So I'm taking the T1 is an object equal to my class name is triangle, and I don't need to pass anything over here. So I'm just executing this code. Let me check. Object is created. Yes, object is created. Now I need to, with the help of the such object values, I can use the input. So yes, by putting the dot, is coming automatically input side. So in the input size, no need to pass any parameter. Just execute this code, and while executing this code, this function will be invoke, and it will ask to us how many sides we want to take. Okay, so that's the point you have to take. Okay, so when I'm just executing this code, now you can easily check it. Input side, I'm just checking 3, 4, and 5. So why it is taken by the 3? Just can anyone tell me right now why it is taken the 3 only? If you remember the my words, when object is created, sorry, when the object is, yes, created, constructor of derived class was invoked. So when it was invoked, so how many values taken by the 3? So when I call the input slide, so this value will pass to the this by the help of the self keyword. So this loop run by the 3 time, and it is taken by the 3 values only. This is the only reason. Uh, this statement, sorry, I need to write over here this one. Yeah, even. So when this I'm creating an object T1 by the help of triangle. So this constructor was invoked and it is passed by the 3 value. Let me show the my proof. Suppose I'm putting the 4. Okay, I'm executing this code. Now I'm again executing the this code. T1 is creating. So now I'm just taking the input. So how many input it will take? 4, 4, 5. Sorry, not here. 4, 6, and again it was asking the 4 times because I passed the over here this one. That's the reason only. So let me rectify this code and execute it once again, and executing once again. Let me take the new values 4, 5, and 6. You can take your value according your need only. So this is the reason only. After this point, I need to display the sites what I have taken over here. So if you remember the function, with the help of the T1 object, I can use the display, and I can execute. And now I can easily execute, and let me check. Yeah, site 1 is 4.0, site 2 is a 5.0, and site 3 is this one. Now, after this point, I need to calculate the area. So what is the my name of the function? You can see by putting the dot, I'm easily getting that is a area. T1 dot area I'm getting. Any parameter I need to pass? No parameter I need to pass. Just I need to execute this code, and let me just see what I'm getting over here. So I'm getting the area 49 point something, which is depend on the my calculation. So I have calculated by semi parameter, and with the help of the area, I got it over here this answer. You can also put the 3, 5, 4, whatever you want to put. So the area or the triangle could be around the 6 something like this one. So you can also take any values whatever you want to take it. Okay, so this is concept which is known as the inheritance. This is the concept which is known as the inheritance. So we can also see that even though we didn't define methods like input side or display method for the class triangle separately, we were able to use them again and again for the square and rectangle as according our needs only. So if an attribute is not found in the class itself, the search continue to the base class only. That's the beauty of the inheritance part, because we are using the reusability concept. And this repeat recursively if the base class is itself derived from the other classes. That's the reason. Now, this is a concept which is known as the inheritance. Now we have seen. Yes, tell me. Any doubt in the inheritance part you have? So please you can ask me right now. Any doubt over here?
No,
The
sir.
single, yes, yes, this is an example of the single inheritance we have discussed over here. This is a single example. Okay, single label inheritance we have taken, and now you can define accordingly our problem. We can define the anything as according our need only. Now, any doubt you have, or let me continue the another concept right now by the help of the practical
No
part
doubt,
only.
sir, right now.
Yeah, okay, thank you. While discussing the class or inheritance, I'm remembering the another concept that which is known as the method overriding. So method overriding means we can provide some specific implementation of the parent class method in our child class. So when the parent class method is defined in the child class, please keep in mind overriding. The method is already part of the base class or parent class, but we are also defining the child class. Then this concept is known as the method overriding. So we may need to perform method overriding in the some scenario with a different definition of the parent class method is needed in the child. For this one, I have a very simple example. Then I would like to share my concept by the help of the method overriding. So let us take an example. Okay, I'm writing here. Let us take an example of method overriding. Method overriding. Method overriding means to override the method which is having by the base class, and in the base in the child class we can also do. To explain this concept, I'm taking a simple example, just class ABC. A very simple example I'm taking on, nothing else. Okay, just class ABC I'm defining. I'm getting just simple method by taking the define method. No constructor required to define temp method. Okay, just for example purpose, I'm speaking over here. And in this, what I'm passing the self, and I'm just putting the another concept which is known as the return some value, just like example, return 10. Okay. No need to use the put the semicolon, but you want to put, then you can also use. Now, this method I have defined over here. Now this is what this is my base class. So ABC is what my ABC is my base class. Now I'm just defining the other class XYZ. And this XYZ my drive class, I'm just inheriting some properties from the base class, that is the ABC. Now I'm defining this one. Logically, there is no error over here. I'm just trying to use something over here. But what I'm doing right now, I'm defining the same method which is already existing by the base class. So same method which is the temp. Okay. So in this, I'm just nothing doing. I'm just passing like this way only. Same. And here I'm returning the 20 and putting the semicolon only, nothing else specially. Now, so what I'm doing here, this method is known as this. What I'm doing, this method is known as overridden method. Please keep in mind the my statement overridden method. Logically, the concept should be clear in your mind as well, practically as well. So I'm putting the some example. I'm creating another class MNO, something just a random example only. And I'm also inheriting this MNO ABC into the MNO. So what I'm just having the multiple base class and single, sorry, multiple drive class and one base class. So could be the example of the hierarchical inheritance, just like simple. Please keep in mind. Now I'm just putting the semicolon and same. I'm just putting. So what I'm doing, I'm just copy this concept and paste. Rather than the here 20, I'm just passing the 30 only. So this method is overridden method. Why? Because it is overriding the method which is already existing by the ABC, and ABC class inherited into the our expired MNO classes. Two classes we have. From this point, let me take create the objects. So I'm taking the object one. Object one is equal to ABC. Okay. Now object two is equal to ABC, not ABC, XYZ. XYZ. Object 3 is equal to, I'm just creating M and O and nothing else. Semicolon is basically optional, but you want to put, they can you also use. So I'm just removing unnecessary to avoid the confusion because so far we didn't use the semicolon by the end of or defining any kind of objects. Now I have created three different objects, undoubtedly no issue. Now I'm just want to print uh, temp value. Okay, I'm just want to temp value of ABC class. So how I can print? How I can print? O1 dot O1 dot temp. Okay, temp value just nothing else. Same I will do with the all. Temp value of the ABC, temp value of the X XYZ. So this is object having by the O2, and this is the MNO. So this object having by the three object three. Let me execute this code and see the what we are getting over here. My objective to explain the overridden method. So now you can see the tab is already part of the our XYZ class, but we are inheriting into the our base class in the drive class, that is MNO is XYZ. So we are replacing its value. What is the value in the base class? We have 10. But in XYZ, which is drive class and MNO drive class, we are replacing its value by the 20 or 30. When it will be called, it will invoke automatically by not invoke automatically because it's called by the objects, not invoke automatically because we didn't use a constructor. So by the help of the objects, we are just invoking these functions, and this is known as the overriding. So temporary is a function which is over. This method is known as the overriding. So let me explain the definition part once again to you all. What is mean by the overridden? Any overridden method will be having the some specific implementation of the base class method into our child class or drive classes. When the drive class method is defined in the child class with the some specific implementation, what we have changed is we have changed the 10 to 20 or 20 to 30. So we have written the some different values rather than the same kind of the values. So then the concept is known as the method overriding. So the method which is overriding into the base class drive class, what are the code we are changing, but we are not changing the its number of the parameter, we are not changing its name of the method. That's why we have this concept which is known as the method overriding. So we will also need to perform method overriding a scenario where the different definition of the parent or the base class method is needed into the child class only. So this is a simple example I have taken over here. This is the my concept. So this kind of the question may ask into the examination. Explain the method overriding by taking a suitable example. This example will help you to concept understanding. No need to define the constructor only. Just explain override. You can also define, no issue, but please keep in mind. Okay, so that's why temp is what? Temp is a overridden method in the two drive classes, which are those XYZ and MNO. Now, this is the overridden concept. So no need to explain no more theory, but by the notes I can share you. So you can also utilize the notes for understanding purpose only or study purpose. But this example should be clear in your mind as well. Now, this example is clear right now. Tell me yes or no. This is the simplest example I have taken for giving the idea about the method overridden. Is it clear to all right now? Or anyone who need to ask any question?
Yes.
So in between, I'm remembering another concept which is related to inheritance because the inheritance is a object-oriented programming features. So along with this one, I am remembering parallelly another concept that is known as the polymorphism. Can you tell me what is mean by the polymorphism? What is mean by the polymorphism? You can tell me another name, please. What is mean by the polymorphism? Just can anyone tell me nothing else? What is mean by the polymorphism? This is a more important concept. Okay, so I'm writing here. No need to worry about it. Polymorphism. See, polymorphism word is coming by the two important words. One is poly and morphism. Here, poly means many, and morphism is not English word. This is a Greek word, so which is defining the forms. It means there is a concept in the object-oriented programming we have. We can also represent our class into the many forms. This concept is coming from the polymorphism concept. Polymorphism is actually what actually? There's a question. What is a polymorphism? The literal meaning of the polymorphism is the condition of the occurrences in the different form. As I've written over here, many forms. Okay. So polymorphism is a very important concept in programming, especially in object-oriented programming, and it refers to the use of a single type entity that is handling by the methods, operator, or object to represent a different type of the different types in the different scenario. So I'm just basically remembering the many things, so I can like to share over here. The words polymorphy means having the many forms, as I've written over here, many forms. In programming, polymorphy means the same function name but different signature. What is signature means? Different kind of the parameter we can pass and being used by the different types. If you remember the object-oriented programming in C, C++, and Java, the concept we have the function overloading and operator overloading. If you remember the concept, function overloading means we have a same name of the function, but we can pass a different parameter to justify this function is overloaded by the passing the different parameters. That's the point. First, I would like to tell something more about the example of polymorphism. Just let me take the example of polymorphism. We have two, two ones. What are those? First is function overloading. Function overloading. Function overloading. Function overloading means same function name, same function name, or same function name with many parameter, many uh, types of parameter. I'm just writing here the example so the picture will be clear. Suppose I'm taking the ABC. ABC is my, I'm writing capital. ABC is my function. This is nothing parameter I'm passing. Here I'm just putting the ABC. So here I'm passing the self, comma, uh, A, supposed parameter. I'm just putting the another function name ABC, self, then if you're using the constructor and so and so b comma c, so you can see the name of the function we have a same abc, but in the first one we are not passing anything, just only the accept to the self because it will invoke automatically. Suppose we are putting the constructor concept over here into the our program as well. So in the first parameter, first second one, we have the one parameter we are passing, but function name is same abc only, because as per the rule of the programming, any programming, two function name cannot be same, but by the help of the object oriented programming feature, that is a polymorphism, we can do. So self comma bc, so bc is the other two parameter we are passing. So here we are passing the no parameter. Okay, here zero parameter. Here how many parameter? One parameter. Here you can see the two parameters we are passing only. This concept is coming into the our mind, that is a function overloading. Now next concept we should have over here, that is operator overloading. That is very very important concept. Operator overloading. Operator overloading is again, we should keep in mind to overload the operator which is already having, which is already existing. That's the point we have to keep in mind. So function overloading and operator overloading are the two example of the polymorphism. This is a concept we have to keep in mind. I'm executing this code because all the points are into the written in the comment form, so no need to worry about that part. So let us understand the some example. The more picture will be clear. So this introductory part of the polymorphism is clear. Not do not worry about the notes I will share you, but here the concept should be clear in your mind. Is a basic. What is mean by the polymorphism? The introductory part of the polymorphism by the help of the my typing way, it is clear to all right now. Yes. Anyone who need to ask? Okay. So some examples of implicit. I'm writing here. No one will explain. This is the reason I'm saying. Some example of the implicit function overloading. Function overloading. You have been already used, but this is the concept which is known as the implicit overloading. I'm printing a function. Print alien method I'm calling. Please keep in mind. Here I'm passing the my name over here. Okay. And next I'm simply printing the same len function I'm calling. In between, can anyone tell me what is mean by the len function? Yes, please. Can anyone tell me right now? Yeah. Can anyone tell me the output of this one? Here I'm passing the only one parameter, but length function returning the value of the past parameter, that is string only. Here how many parameter I'm passing? Just tell me. How many parameter I'm passing? Just tell me. It's simple answer. Everything in just in front of you. You just need to understand. Yes. Can anyone tell me the why? How many parameters we are passing in these different kind of the implicit function overloading? Yes. Tell me. Yes. Tell me. I need the answer actually. It's very. I'm waiting your response. See, you can easily understand, but here I would like to tell me something. Here we are passing the one parameter. Here we are also passing the one parameter only. Here we are passing the one parameter only. Is it true? Are you agree with me? Just tell me.
Yes, sir.
Why? Because I'm passing only the one parameter in from the string only. It doesn't mean, but it's just written len function giving the only the its length of the input information. So let me update something. Print for the len function. I can pass multiple information. So how I can pass? I can pass the I can use a list. Okay. So with the help of that one, I can pass. By the help of the list, I can easily see. So here now 3. So len function is returning the number of the different values which is used by the this list. So here returning the 3. Okay, so by the list we can easily see. This is only some simple example. Try to understand. By the help of the other one, we can also explain. You can also take the different kind of the input heterogeneous. Okay, you can also take different type of the like this one. Okay, so it's a beauty of the list. We can also take. Okay, okay. So here we are getting the error. Can you even tell me right now why we are getting the error? Okay, so this is the point we can say. So here by the help of the list, I'm passing the same parameter, same kind of the parameter that is string only, but here I'm using the heterogeneous. So this len is nothing over here. When you're calling this len function, this is implicitly overwritten by calling many times. That's the reason. And so len is already built-in function, as you can see, written the number of the items in a container. So here, what is container we have? List. That's the only reason. In this case, where the you have seen the my first name, that is only the it is also having the container, but only the single container that is in the string only. Same it is also behaving by the second one, third one. Only a single container with string format, but my name is having by the all the different formation, just middle name or last name. But we are passing only the one parameter into the string container. But in the list container, we are passing the multiple parameter, multiple value. So it is considered into the number of the parameter we are passing only. So len function is overwritten over here. That is a overloading function overloading. This is len function overloading. From in spite of this concept, we will see everything properly by putting the more simple concept that is a class polymorphism in the Python. We can say class polymorphism in the Python means we can use the concept of the polymorphism by creating the class method, as Python allows different classes to have the methods with the same name as the concept followed by the polymorphism. So we can then later generalize calling these methods by disregarding the objects we are working with them. So here I'm remembering an example. So let me try to make a very simple example. Class ABC. I'm just taking the simple concept and I'm defining its constructor. Same example. I'm just remember defining uh, this example. I'm remember self name and age. Let me go this one name and age. This is a method. So I'm just trying to self dot name equal to name and self dot age equal to age. Okay, and here yeah, this is the first constructor I've defined over here, and now I'm defining another function. Let me write here This would be the information, or something could be anything, just you can define accordingly. So I'm taking here over as it is info. And so here I'm printing a method, message print. My name is, I'm writing here my name over here. Okay. And with the help of the some printing format, you can also use, this is the printing format. You can also use self dot name, and is self dot is. Okay, please keep in mind some printing format, uh, years old. Okay. And this is and one more function I would like to take, define class, cls I'm taking only just for class purpose only, self. And this cls just like tell me, um, printer python. Okay, I'm just writing here only for message purpose only. So this is what, this is the base class I've created. Next class I'm creating, that is a xyz, xyz, and I'm importing all the features from the abc class undoubtedly. So I'm taking as it is, and I'm defining the same method over here to call again over here. Okay, so yeah, so no need to define, no need to issue while defining the constructor. But if I'm defining the info, which is already part of the previous one, okay, and here with the help of the overriding concept as we have seen. So here, yeah, indentation should be properly. Okay, so here I'm changing something over here. My name is just like this one, and is I'm just keeping as it is, no issue about the is. Okay, and see why I'm writing over here, just to give the message. Okay, so this function should be print the same message. So let me rectify. Yeah, no need to, because I will pass the two different parameter while implementing or executing time. And this is a good one. And so what I have done, overriding I have done, overriding. Okay, please keep in mind, overriding I have done, overriding. And let me execute. Yes, no issue. By the help of the object, we can understand. So if I'm creating the object of the first one, that is a ABC, I can create. So I'm just giving the A object, that is a A1 ABC. Here I'm calling. So when I'm calling, so what parameter I'm passing? Will take name and age. So here I'm passing the name. Okay, that's my name over here, and age I'm passing over here only. Okay, this is only my not actual age. Please keep in mind. This is for example I'm taking. And for the another object, I can say, for the another object, I can take x1 equal to xyz, and here I'm passing this one. Okay, and just this one. Here I'm just putting the 55. Okay. Let me execute this code. The object is creating or not? Object is creating. The first object I have created ABC, other object I have created XYZ. So when I'm just creating object, this is A1. So with the help of the A1, I can access the all the properties of the ABC class in one CLS. Same by the help of the X1 object I'm creating. So this constructor, just I'm highlighting that constructor will be invoked by the XYZ class. And then by the help of the X1 object, I can access the properties, the info and CLS under the XYZ undoubtedly. No issue. now. So here I'm just writing a code for temporary, just for understanding purpose. For temporary, T just for temp. Okay, I can take temporary in in these two objects. What are two objects? Our object is A1 and X1. Okay. And then it will uh, call temp dot temp dot cls for the class purpose. And I think I just changed something over in the Python. I need to change programming. Okay, just let me write over here and let me re-execute once again this code, because in this method I'm just taking the Python, but in this method I need to take the programming. Please keep in mind. So that's why I need to change. And now again I need to create the object. Yes, now create and CLS. So when I'm just calling this one, then what it will print display. And then I'm just calling info by the temp one, that is a temp dot info. And then again I'm calling temp dot cls. Yeah. So let me check what I can get it. Temp dot cls. Yeah, we can enter. Yeah. So when I'm calling a temp dot cls, which is existing having by the a1 x1, so cls method will call. Okay. So with the help of the temp variable, cls will call. So first it will invoke the Python Python programming. My name is okay. Let me write something over here properly. Uh, Format. Yeah, I'm putting the format, so I need to put the f, which is I'm missing over here. Okay, that's my mistakes. Let me execute once again, and then again execute, and then executing this one. Yeah, so this one I got it. The while CLS I'm just calling, so a1 and a2. So temp is a variable, is a temporary variable which will look into the some values into the a1 and x2 or a1 and x1 object. So temp dot cls. So when temp dot cls is calling, so it will call the first object. So when I'm just calling temp dot cls, the this function will invoke so Python and my this one. Which one? This one, in which I am passing the boolean 40. So this will be inbox, that is info. So it will display my name is Biren and age is 40. And then I'm just calling the temp info. Temp info. So it will call the Python once again, the programming part. So now, yeah, this one program Python programming is called, and then again Python call, and then programming will call. So when I'm calling the CLS, we'll call the Python. So display the CLS only. My name is this one, and this will display. So what it display? Uh, it will display only class value. Okay, which class value? That could be the Python or programming. Okay. And info method. This will just display only the uh, information of name and age. Okay, that's the point you have to keep in mind. And this will also again calling. Yes. So if by the help of the temporary object, I'm just calling this one again. So what I'm doing, I no need to write the call the function again. Whatever objects I'm creating. Let me take the just T1 is my another object. Okay. I'm again creating in another object just like the ABC of this one. And I'm just putting this one and changing something like 89 and executing this code. Okay. So from this point, I can also use the some other objects value like T1. I can also take it. Okay. So it will also display the first Python one part, the programming one part, And here the Python one part will be called because I'm just changing a parameter only the thing and 89 value. Rest of things are. So this function I'm just calling again by the my function overloading. Actually, this concept is known as a class polymorphisms. This concept is known as class polymorphism in the Python programming. So this is basically what I'm doing over here. I'm just creating the two classes ABC and XYZ, and they share the similar structure and have the same method name, that is the information and display and Python programming class only. So however, notice that what we have noticed over here, however, we have noticed that we have not created a common superclass or linked the classes together in any way. Even then, we can pack these two different objects into a tuple or iterate. And a tuple iterate basically is the kind of the data type in which we can compose to call their the functions of the classes individually or separately through using a common variable name, that is a temporary variable we have created over here. And it is possible due to the polymorphism concept only. So this concept is known as the class polymorphism in the Python programming. So this kind of the approach we can also create, and this is somehow is coming through the our object of not object is the function overriding concept. So function overriding means we are changing some values inside the base class. Function overloading and function overloading, there is a difference between, please keep in mind. So I'm writing over here. Let me explain. Function overridden, overriding actually. Overriding means in the derived class we can change the uh, information, or we can change the function structure, not structure, function define, yeah, function defining, that's a proper term. But in the case of the function overloading or method function overloading or method overloading, this is a point you have to keep in mind. Means no need to change the structure of defined base base class function, which is to be overload. That's a point, overloaded. Okay, please keep in mind. So that is the point you have to keep in mind. No need to change anything over here. Okay, so if you are doing, see, same program, if you are doing some change into the this one display part, you are doing some changes over here. So this function what will be overridden. So this, in this case, in the drive part, this function will be overridden because you are overriding something. But here we are not overriding, we are keeping structure as it is, as we are defining or you are using into inside the base class. That's the point you have to keep in mind. This is a basic common things you have to keep in mind in your mind as well. That's the more important. So from this point, this picture should be clear in your mind as well. This idea is clear right now. Tell me yes or no, or any doubt. Yeah, this picture is clear right now, the function overloading and function overridden. Then I have the another something for you. So I would like to tell operator overloading. Operator overloading is also more important concept, but that part we will see in the later or next class.